Greetings, all. Welcome to Circle of Sisters podcast, the spiritual table talk where soul sisters are speaking out and fixing crowns in the process. I am one of your hosts, Lady Uck, here with my beautiful sister.
Chantel Sierra Shakim, your self-care life coach or health practi- health practitioner. Girl, I got a tongue tie.
It's a
But we are
mouthful.
so it is a mouthful. We are so happy to be here today. We've been out for a couple of days, but we are so glad to come back into the space after we have been in a celebratory time of shifting and flowing and being around family and friends and seeing things changing right before our very eyes. So we are so happy to be back in the circle and be back in your spaces.
Ashe, Ashe. Now, as you all know, this is a safe space, a sacred space where us as sisters reach out beyond the airwaves, beyond the devices to offer sacred healing, sacred wisdom to the masses. We are here today to talk about a very important topic, your sacred work. Many of us go through life working jobs that either provide us financial stability with not as much reward or are very rewarding, but don't offer us financial stability. So today we're talking about something a little bit more in depth when it comes to work. It's living your sacred work, your divine purpose. When you are living in alignment with your sacred work, the money aspect no longer becomes a factor.
Or
And
the focus. The
or
focus.
the focus, exactly. And the stress is no longer seen as stress. It may be seen as challenges, but when you're living your sacred work, it doesn't affect you in the same way that the traditional stresses of works affects you. And as we dive into sacred work, let's first talk about what is sacred work. So, when I mention sacred work, Sistar, what comes to mind? What do you think of?
So basically, I think of purpose and passion, right? As we think about work, oftentimes a lot of people think of it in a negative sense, thinking that I have to work or I have to do this. But it's more about what we get to do, right? What we get to do and how we allow our passion and our purpose to move us into what we get to do. And with that, receive the exchange, the reciprocity from the universal source that provides. So our matrix system has kind of got it a little twisted in the sense of we work to produce. We work to produce, work to produce, work to produce. And we work meaning giving our time to something to produce. So for me, following our passion is the way that we should be moving forward in doing the work. And that passion is living our lives and showing our light and being the light in the darkness. At least that is how I see it. That's the work, that's the work. And being able to know how to do the work that first supports yourself so that you can also support others.
Absolutely. When I think of sacred work, it reminds me of our life's journey. And throughout our life's journey, we encounter certain challenges, certain things that may be pain points for us. And when you say passion to purpose, I always really think about those things that make us feel empowered, those things that make us turn our pain into passion, really becomes a catapulter driving force of our sacred work. We've experienced a side of a thing that we didn't like. It creates a passion within us to provide a service, a work, or some type of remedy for what we've experienced. And that then feeds our passion. And Sacred work is the divine work that your soul has communicated to you that you must do. And so when I think about sacred work, there isn't an option of doing other work because your soul has guided you to what that work is supposed to look like. And a lot of times when we talk about sacred work, people may be unsure. You know, they may be unsure of what sacred work actually is, or what their sacred work would be. And so for those people, I invite them to really look at your lived experience because no time is ever wasted. You know, a lot of times we think that, oh, I worked in this job for 15 years and I didn't get anything out of it. Well, you did get something out of it. Maybe what you got of it was a lot of what you don't want to do, but that's getting something out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
You know, and so a lot of times we go throughout life, and with this society especially, we stay stuck in areas that have stagnated our spiritual, financial, emotional growth. We stay stuck in those places out of convenience or out of the societal norm. We've been told, oh, you've been at your job for 10 years, way to go. You know, that's
right.
great. You've been there for 15, 20 years. However, what have you gained spiritually, physically, emotionally from your job? Your work should not just be a means to an end. And when we talk about your sacred work, that's what really goes beyond the financial capacity of what the job or the work brings into your life, and really goes more into how it evolves and changes you as an individual.
You made a great point. That is so true. You know, we esteem people who have stuck to a job, right? You had the stick it to itness. You done been, you done been committed to this job, this profession for 40, 50, 60 years in some cases, especially when we think of our older role models, you know, our grandparents. They've been on a job for years. And that is been a means to provide for their family, right? So we had a secure resource to be able to provide safety for our families. But when we think about our jobs and our work being not only being able to provide for our families, but also being able to allow us to grow and to expand and find out truly who we are. And with that work, as we talk about sacred work, we begin to learn how instrumental we are as individuals in creating the resources that we want and that we need to provide for our family. You know, understanding that we are magical beings. We have so much insight and ability to create the life we want to live without looking for someone else to give us a job or give us the opportunity. We can create that opportunity by just showing up in our own essence, in our own truth, in our own passion. And it's something, it's like if you see a need, become the solution, right? If you see the need, you become the solution. And it's like when we begin to work in that capacity of being the solution, we are so empowered to begin to live a life that we truly were meant to live.
Absolutely.
I see we have a comment
Oh,
in
nice.
one of my brothers in my Nyanga training is watching, and he says beyond the common language of the environment. So I guess work is moving beyond the common language of the environment that it is. That's what I take away from that. Because we do have to move away from what that word work means, right? Is it really a work of you working for someone else, or you working toward a goal, or you working toward accomplishment, or are you working toward an expansion? What are you working for?
Mhm.
Right? Are you working to just have a means to have money to meet your basic needs? Or are you working toward seeing the consciousness of humanity raised? I mean, that's a little deep for some people, but we as a body are all working towards something. We are
I,
all working for something, and we are all working towards something. And as a collective, whatever the majority is working toward is what's going to impact the masses the most. But as those one percenters, as I'd like to call myself, we are actually working to raise the consciousness as a whole. We are raising the consciousness of what work looks like. We are raising the consciousness of what it means to be living in your truth. We are raising the consciousness of what it feels like, right? What it feels like to truly be living your abundant life. A lot of times we're taking away from feeling and what that feeling does to help us work toward feeling better, you know. And when we feel better, we do better, and when we do better, we create better. And all of this is a part of the work, and we each have a role to play. So this call is really to take time to reflect on what kind of work are you doing. First off, what kind of work are you doing in your own personal life? Not
Mhm.
the job that you go to every day, but the work of happiness. What is your happiness index? Where does that land on the chart? You know, from 0 being not happy at all to 10 being the happiest you've ever been. Where's your happiness index? Because your happiness should fuel the work that you do. So when I think about the work that I do when I go into a workplace, I see the happiness index at about a 6 because it is providing me resources to build my passion or to fuel my passion and support my passion. So I see that index. But when I'm doing the thing that I love to do, my happiness index is like uh 15 or 100, you know. So we have to begin to find that happiness index to begin to fuel our work on ourselves first and then in the world around us. What would you say? What would
I
you add to that?
absolutely, I love the way that you put that, identifying your happiness index within all the work that you're doing. It's extremely important. You know, right now in our society, mental health has become a really big thing. Many of us are in situations or dealing with the circumstances of life and may find ourselves dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, and stress and different levels of things that affect our mental health. And so when we take a look at our work and the impact that that has on our mental health, where is our happiness index when it comes to the work that we're doing? That's extremely important to understand because that affects a larger part of our day. Many of us are spending 40 plus hours at a job, maybe 10 hours a week in traffic. So there's a large part of our day that is donated to or allocated to a particular area. And we need to know what that area is doing and how it is emotionally affecting us in our lives. Because the reality of the fact is that the things that we're able to accomplish is directly related to our mood and our emotional state of being. And so, whether it is a physical job that we're working at, whether it's working on ourselves, because a lot of us see ourselves as our sacred work, or whether it's working with the community, where are we being fulfilled? How does that look? What is that feeling like to us? Are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves in order to really align ourselves in our divine sacred work. And I don't think many of us take that time to consider where is our happiness? Where does it lie? What's our happiness indicator? Our index, as you said. I love, love, love that tool because when we start to identify where we are within our workspace, we can really start to shift our energy to be more in alignment with serving us on a deeper level than just the financial means to an end.
And that's the goal. That is the real focus of our work. Even as we go into our workplaces, some people are passionate about the work that they do when they go into their job, and their happiness index is sky high because they're touching lives. They're helping keep the world going in a sense that this job is necessary. They're putting a human index on doing something that the AI could do, right? But putting that personal touch. So even as you do your day to day work of showing up and serving in whatever job you have, make sure that you keep that happiness index high, because that is what's going to move you into the next part of the journey. Because we all have to work. It's a work every day to keep our sanity. It's a work every day to keep our joy. It's a work every day to make sure we have food and shelter. All of this is work, but it's like, how happy are you in doing it? So the happiness is what allows us to move forward. We have another comment. It says, work for what you love to do, not just for the money. And that's so true, because we working for money is not going to be your put your happiness index on 10. Working for the money is still out of struggle. It's out of lack. It's out of all these lower vibrational energies, which can easily suck you into a loop of, I have to do that. But if we work for what we love to do, we have a happiness index of, I get to do this. I get to do this. I get to go into this job and be a light in the darkness. And in return, I also get to receive money to work on the things that I'm passionate about, to pour back into the communities that I serve, to be able to have the resources to build to a capacity where now I'll only be doing this type of work, but it's still edifying. And I have found now that the job that I have now is working with helping me as an investor. I say that it's an investor to my passion. So that makes me pretty happy. And like I said, about a 6, but it is a happy. So, so when I go into this job, I am choosing to give them 3 days a week. I choose that. They don't tell me that. I'm choosing to go in here 3 days a week in exchange for an income that will help me continue to build on the things that I love to do. So that mentality alone has helped me to see that work and my passion unifying and coming together, because we don't work just to work or just to have money. We work to have an experience of life, right? So, as you mentioned, giving 40 hours a week, sometimes 50 and 60 as a nurse a week, to serve and to show up for someone else and make sure someone else is feeling good and healing. And, I'm speaking from my perspective, getting the medicine that they need. I should be able to give that same amount of time to me, giving myself the medicine that I need so that I can have something to give when I'm in that space. So we want to use this time right now, this last month of this 2024 year, to begin to pour into yourself like never before. Like never before. As we go into 2025, I want this to be a call for us to emancipate our minds, right? Emancipate our minds to freedom and thriving in 2025, because that's where everything is going to make a difference. We're making shifts. We are creating new pathways in our brain of how we show up in the world, and how, as a collective, this new way of life will support freedom for everyone. And
Absolutely.
and that's where we're going. That's where we're going with this work.
Absolutely. And, as you said, we are creating shifts, we are creating new pathways. We have seen over the course of the last 4 years we have seen life as we know it completely evolve and change. We have seen people step out of their comfort zones. Really, it is a time to align with your soul's mission, your soul's sovereignty. It is a time for you to align with your happiness and your blessings. Um, and to find those blessings in the workspaces that you find yourself in currently today. One of the things that I learned from you, especially Chantel, was finding the grace in the where you are now, the benefit, and leaning more into that. Many of us have jobs that we can rattle off all the things we hate about it, but we have a hard time talking about or finding the things that we really love or appreciate about our jobs. And so, even just that slight shift in focus of how you focus your energy, even saying, it's a six, but it's a good six because you're focusing on those positive attributes as opposed to focusing on the things that you don't want to see. And in a week or two, that six could turn into a seven very quickly, and even an eight, if we continue to focus on the things that we enjoy and we love in regards to the positions we currently find ourselves in. However, for those of us who find ourselves in a period of uncertainty, of thinking whether or not we should switch, or change or step into something that has been placed on our heart, I really urge those of you who have ambitions to really start to act out those ambitions, to really start to birth in those ideas, because the world is constantly changing. Things are evolving. There is so much space and opportunity for everything to come into existence at this point. And so now it is a call for those of us who have ideas, who have gifts, who have talents. The universe is strongly urging and pulling all of us to show up as our sovereign selves. And when we show up as our selves, it creates a better world for the collective. That is why we take so much time into edifying one another, into partnering with one another. Part of stepping into your sacred work is understanding how it aligns with others in the sacred work they are doing, and building community and collaboration with your sacred work with others. We are stepping into a time frame where the community is coming back. The family compounds are coming back. The living in community is coming back. And because of that, there is so much opportunity out here to our advantage. We've proven to ourselves that we can do it throughout the last 4 years. I have seen so many people step outside of their comfort zones to build these businesses, to build entrepreneurship, to get the coaching and education they need to get to the next level of their ascension and their evolution. And all of that work was because of a time such as this. Now is the time for us to really act on everything that the Most High has put and tapped within our spirit and our DNA. All of those gifts that you have are to be used at this time. The human consciousness is rising. And so those ideas that you have that need to be birthed will birth with or without you.
Ashe.
I for one have seen an idea that I had birth 10 years after I voiced that I had that idea. And when I saw it birth into reality, I cried. I literally fell to my knees and cried because I felt like I missed the opportunity for my millions. But what that was telling me was that was the universe divinely educating me that what is meant to happen with will happen with or without you. You are a piece of the puzzle, but understand that if you don't move, spirit will move without you. And now is the time for us to really divinely align with our sacred work, because the universe, the Most High, in turn, is calling for us to do it.
Yes, and we are being supported. That's the part that I'm really to rest in, and knowing that We have ancestors who have been in the human and celestial form for ages. And some of them, all they've done is enjoyed life. Enjoy. They never understood this lower vibration of struggle, of lack, of have to. They've only enjoyed the good. And so we as the lineage of those that came before us can hold that vibration to see that reality in this time again, because it is available. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just the mindset and our crown aligning to that vibration and that frequency, and to know that we are supported. And I like how you mentioned it's coming back to community, and it's coming back to everybody is necessary.
That's
There
right.
are people waiting for your gift, for your talent, for your ability, for your insight, for your wisdom, for your teaching, for your guidance.
Yes.
There are people who are in the depths of hell right now
Sure.
who need what you have.
That's right.
And it is imperative that
Mm,
we take our positions in being the light, in being the light in the darkness, because we are in darkness. If we don't know who we are, if we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, if we don't know the direction to go in, that's where the darkness abides. So
mm,
being able to be intentional about knowing who you are and whose you are, who supports you, who is in your corner, who is truly cheering for you and wanting to see you be the best that you can be, who is giving you that space to be vulnerable, to be in your lowest point, but not to pull you lower, but to lift you up. You know, those are the people that you need to begin to call forth into your life, because that is the work. That is the work. That is how we edify. That is how we grow. That is how we live in a reality that makes all our dreams come true.
mm,
There's so much. And as sister said, she said, it's gonna happen with or without you. You know, we looking at, some of us who were born and raised in Christianity, looking at this whole rapture thing, they getting caught up and people you getting left behind. This is where that's happening, you know. This
yes.
is
Yes.
the space of where it's happening. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind, because you can do it. You have a gift. You have a talent. You have a light, and it's called your life force energy within you that can change the world around you.
Absolutely.
Be the light. Be the light. Be
Mm,
the light. And as we become the light and do the work of becoming the light, it will open doors that we didn't even know were going to open for us. We'll find ourselves in places at tables that we never even thought we would be sitting at, and it's just about showing up in that highest frequency of happiness, of joy, of love, of peace, of doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, about edification
mm,
and connecting with those that have went before us.
that's right.
We're looking at role models in this earthly plane who are still struggling. There's people on the other side who are saying, no, come this way. Come this way. Align with the truth of your soul sovereignty. Find who you are as this connection with the Christ consciousness of oneness. Find find a way to bring forth everything that you feel within you into this reality to transform it. That is the work we're talking about. And yes, it does involve the mundane things, but it also allows the mundane things to become very spiritual. So this is the space where practical spirituality meets holistic health, and we bring it all together in oneness.
Yes.
Everybody is needed. There's something that you and only you can do. And as you come into your heart space and align with those things that make you feel good, you will see the world around you support you, support those visions, support those dreams. And this is the work we're talking about. As we go into the next year and even the next few days, this is December 1. So today is the first day of this month to begin to show up for you. No
Yeah.
one can tell you how to show up. Only you can know what feels good. Follow the feel good. And if you haven't watched Abraham Hicks, she is a channeler and she's so much about high vibration. And she speaks to our subconscious mind where she inspires us to action. And she often talks about follow the feel good until it doesn't feel good anymore. And then you rest. And then you sit with yourself and think about what else would feel good. And then you go in that direction. And it may seem a little spontaneous, but that's what life is. Very spontaneous. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You're experiencing hurt and pain today. You're laughing and in the fullness of joy tomorrow. It's like joy comes in those dark places. You can find joy in those dark places, you know,
Absolutely.
but you have to be intentional. And that's where the work comes in. So I've been on a soapbox. Give thanks, Spirit. We have another comment in the text from my other sissy, my real sissy, Lolika. She says, and there is room for all of us. There's
Yes.
no room for jealousy. It's not a me against you, sis. It's like, no, we all need each other to be the best that we can be. I need you to shine bright so that it will inspire me to see where I'm going. I need you to shine bright. It's like shine bright like a diamond. We're
Eh,
all diamonds, and no diamond is less valuable than the other. It's no comparison. All diamonds
absolutely.
are valuable. All diamonds are valuable, and
When
we are the diamonds.
thank you so much, Loli, for putting that in the chat because it is so true. There is room for us all. A lot of people feel like, oh, well, I see so many people doing that. Well, I see so many people that got that type of business. Oh, there's this many coaches out there. Listen, there are a there's people that are specifically assigned to you. And what I've learned throughout this journey and this walk of entrepreneurship is that those who are called to you and no one else. And so there's a certain group of people who won't move or elevate to the next level because you haven't moved or elevated to the next level. And so it is extremely important that we don't look at our divine reflections, our divine contemporaries as competition. We understand that those are divine contemporaries, those are our divine reflections. So the things that they're doing are helping to edify me, just as what I'm doing is helping to edify them. And it's reciprocity in us both showing up in our sacred work in our sacred space because there is enough for all of us. There is no one coach that is able to coach every human being on the planet because everyone has different styles. Everybody has different tone, dialect, the different
And
energy,
different experiences.
and different lived
You can't,
experience.
I can only help people who've been through what I've come from,
I
right? This
say,
is that you attract what you are. As my thing says up here, it says, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, and mirror what you admire. So we are in that energy, and you are going to attract those people who see themselves in you,
I
right?
say, your
And
divine
you are
reflection.
going to have something to give them because you've been where they are. And not everybody is actively in this lifetime experiencing that. So therefore, somebody who hasn't walked the path I've walked won't be able to help me the way I need to be helped. And these are your whole life in review. You're going to attract and be able to inspire those people who have walked the walk that you've walked. and so on and so forth. That's where it's a unity of one, but it's that one that I'm experiencing now. That one experience that I've overcome that I can show you and be that light in the darkness of, hey, I've been there. I've been there. So yeah, everybody is necessary and it's no competition. It's just you are leaving behind those people who are waiting for you to show up. I'm sitting on that one because
Yeah,
that's deep.
there are people, one of the things that I was told very early into my entrepreneurship is that I needed to get friends that stretched me.
Mm,
I needed to get friends specifically that made me Google what they said. And
mm-hmm,
that was just edifying, that are really setting in stone that there were a lot of people that were currently in my orbit at that time that didn't have the power to push me into the next direction. I needed to reach and search for those people to help guide my steps, help order my steps into the direction that I was going. And once I found those sisters and that community, it catapulted everything that I was doing that much faster. Everything that I had been working on started to make sense. And all the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. And this is why it is so important for us to really rely on the sisterhoods and the brotherhoods that we in the communities that we've built around us to continue to educate ourselves in the direction that we're going, because there may be things that we don't know. There may be additional help that we need to see certain things in real life and reality in order to be able to step into it. And so, reaching outside of our comfort zone is absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary. And as we, approach the final month of our calendar year, right? We are going into the time of winter time. Winter time is the time where the animals go into hibernation. They go into hibernation because, for one, they want to preserve their energy. They got to make it through the winter months. And so right now, a lot of us are in our winter months. A lot of us are in that period of time where we have to preserve our energy. We have to save our strength. We have to plan for the year ahead. And this is the time to really set with self and really figure out how you can live more intentional as the new year approaches. A lot of us set what we said, what do
New
they
Year
call it? New
resolutions.
Year's resolutions. These are the things that I want to make sure I do this year, or I want to refrain from doing this year. We go into the year with that resolution. This is something that I want to resolve, an area that I want to fix in my life. What if we looked at that as a different way? I'm not setting New Year's resolutions. I'm setting intentions for the new year's. I intend to do these things for the new year, and I intend to walk this way. I intend for my work to show up and reflect in my life as this. And so when we set intentions as opposed to resolutions, we really do order our steps as we go forward. And this is what this sacred work is about. Really understanding that in order to live an intentional, purposeful life, we first have to order our steps. We have to set the intention that we are going to align our spirit, our mind, our heart, our soul with our divine sacred work. And if that means that we're going to a 9 to 5 job, then we will pull from that all of the things that is teaching us, all of the blessings that is bestowing upon us. We will no longer in 2025 look at any of the negative or adverse effects of our jobs and amplify that energy. We will only amplify the energy that benefits us within our workspace. And once we start to align in that way, we're gonna be taking over. We're gonna be taking over. Just imagine when you go into work, and even if it's a job that you don't particularly like, a job that you don't particularly like the coworkers, but you go in and you say, "Ooh, in 2 weeks, this is what the check gonna look like." And when I go in here, I do like talking with my clients, so I'm gonna enjoy the conversations I have with my clients. I really don't mind doing this work on the computer, so I'm going to enjoy doing the work on the computer. And when you go with that joy in your spirit, when you go focused on the positivity, it will shift the atmosphere. When you change your energy, it will change the energy of those around you. So your work environment begins to improve. And like we said, we turn that 6 into a 7 real quick
Look, and
when we go in there with the right attitude.
yes, and knowing that you are working for a reason, right? Not just for money, because money is not a motivator. Money is a reciprocity for work. Okay. Money is a reciprocity for work. So if you are working on yourself, if you are working on your business, you can allow that going into a workplace to be a step in that direction and see that as a positive. Like, I get to do this. And I looked up the definition of emancipate because that just dropped into my heart about emancipate my mind in 2025 so that I can no longer live, so I can live in freedom and also thrive. That's been coming up for me a lot. So it says emancipation, freeing someone from the control.
Mm,
Definition of emancipation,
mm, mm,
freeing someone from the control of another,
mm.
especially a parent's relinquishing authority and control over a minor child. Freeing, liberation, release, the act of liberating someone or something. So I'm seeing that of liberating my soul to be able to live a life that truly inspires me every day, that truly allows me to see what I want to experience every day. And I'm emancipating my mind of the control to think otherwise. It's just what I want. What I want. I'm the controller. I'm the controller, and I'm reclaiming my time and my power to
Come on.
control my life the way I want it to be. And if it means going into a workplace, I'm going to go there with an idea that moving me in the direction of where I truly want to be. So I get to do this. It's not something I have to do. I get to do it because it moves me forward. So this is some good stuff. We've dropped
Yes.
a lot of gems today. Fixing those crowns, thinking that what do you need to do to truly emancipate your mind and begin to do the work that truly is about freeing yourself from the restraints that others may be putting on you and being able to live in a place of passion and purpose, because that's what life is all about. And we are constantly evolving, we are constantly changing, we are constantly moving one way or another. This is called the flow. You know, Rihanna's song, Make Me Sweat,
Make
Make Me
me so.
Water. This is where we need to be in the flow because it's going to go up and down. But where is your happiness factor? Your happiness factor shouldn't go up and down. No matter what's going on around you, you control your happiness factor or your happiness index. You control that. You control that, and you can shift it in a minute. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we want to sit in that space of, oh, me, pity me, but you have to shift it. And only you can do it. Your outside um, environment is not going to do that for you. No one is coming to save you. Blink.
Absolutely. Come on, come on, come on. Now that no one is coming to save you. That instantly kind of put back into focus this past election. In 2025, a lot of people are very, very worried about what 2025 has in store when we hear the term "Make America Great Again." And I want to say this when we're talking about sacred work because I think a lot of us are very confused as to what our former president and now will be reinstated as president, Donald Trump, is saying when he says "Make America Great Again" is about bringing back innovation to America. And so when we talk about sacred work, there are people that have ideas, products, inventions, and in 2025, the goal is to bring back industry and to bring back production to America, to have things that are made in America. So now is the time. There is going to be so much abundance thrown at American innovation in the upcoming years. You mark my words, okay? There will be abundance thrown at that. That means grants, that means money, government money for made in America products. Made in America is going to be a literal thing. And so, if you haven't gotten a spiritual download from that, I am giving it to you right now. If you have a product that you have been waiting to birth, if you have an idea for an invention that you have been waiting to birth, American industry is coming back. And for those of us who are fearful of the upcoming years, understand that innovation is going to be what carries us through. And so now is the time to tap into your creative energy and ask the Most High, what is it that you have to offer and to bring? Because the abundance is going to be all around us. So fear not, fret
Ashe.
not.
Ashe.
um, this is the time for us to really bring back all of those ideas that are tapped in our DNA. You know, we know that we are the inventors and creators, the unsung heroes of American industry. You know, we know this. We know that it was us and our people who did all of the necessary things to make America great in the first place. So we have nothing to fear, as they say, making America great again is just stepping into our soul sovereignty and our power and leaning into our sacred work. And so, with that, I will say,
Whoop, whoop. Look, let's make America great again. And it starts by first going within, right?
yes.
Going
Oh, I
within,
like that.
and you will
That's
never do without. Go within and you will never do without, because we are sovereign beings. We are sovereign beings.
I
Let
say.
that sink in. Sovereign beings. We are connected to source energy that knows all things, provides all things, and allows us to experience all
All
things.
things.
So, in that space, I would like to use this next few minutes to pull from our deck where we
Yes.
allow our ancestors to speak. I have been using the Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle, which is a powerful deck. I am so thankful that I came across this deck by Abiola Abrams. She also has another deck called The African Goddess Rising. That is where I began in really finding out how to embrace the queen within. So, on that note, we are looking for one card for the collective in this to solidify the information talked about. And the card that comes through, as always, for me, I love it, is
Oh.
Mother of Water. And it says emotional self care.
Mm.
Okay. Was we not just talking about
Mm.
going within, taking care of
Yes.
yourself, showing up for yourself, doing the things that you are being called to do? Look at beautiful. It's cosmic. It's divine. It's your feminine creative energy. It's knowing, and feminine creative energy is in everyone, males and females, right? So we have to come back into this heart space and this knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, and begin to create universes, magical experiences and places where we're shifting our vibration into a consciousness that is like none other. All right. This is good stuff. This is the number 30. And I always say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. For those of you in the back of the church who want to say amen, 3 is the number of completion, the Holy Trinity. It's all that we are, and it's supporting us always. But as this card says, it says emotional self-care. Let's see what the book says about it. It always brings fire to my life, even though this is water. Okay.
Mm.
So it says, I am filled with the power of love. And love conquers all things. Love overcomes all things. Love creates all things. Love does not divide us, it unites us. So it says, take care of yourself. You are forgetting yourself. Listen to your inner voice. Trust the intuitive guidance coming your way. Your powers have never steered you wrong. You have only neglected to trust them. All of the soul's work you have done so far is paying off. You can't make
Ashe.
this up. Take better care of your heart. Believe who people show themselves to be. Believe what your third eye shows you. This ancestor rules all things when it comes to our emotions. She also has healer priestess energy, but you don't want this to be the wounded healer energy. Be sure to love up on yourself so that your cup is full enough to give to others. Girl, you can't make this up. The
Come on.
ancestor mother of waters, fresh, finds us here as Yamaya, an Orisha, a Yoruba Orisha of motherly love and the ocean. Originally a river goddess, she crossed the seas with her children to spread divine love, mercy, and compassion. She is a guardian. She is a guardian, the source of water and life. The ancestral medicine is for many of our, let me put on my glasses. I'm having difficulty seeing. Give thanks. For many of your ancestors, embodying love was a liability. For many of our ancestors, embodying love was a liability.
Mm,
Being vulnerable left them open to being hurt in
mm.
perilous situations. When you choose the power of openness and vulnerability, you heal them. You do not need to make choices from fear and lack in
Come
the
on.
same way as they did. Come
Come on.
on.
Come
Come
on.
on. The If you are working in the shadow of this energy, it says being a martyr does not serve you or anyone else. Overgiving is not an act of love, but an act of control. What you say? There is clingy, desperate energy all around you.
Mm, mm,
It
mm.
is time to let it go.
Mm.
This is the Queen of Cup energy, and it's all about us reclaiming our emotional sovereignty and
Ashe.
knowing that we can be vulnerable. We can ebb and flow, but we always need to rise in love. So,
Ashe.
this was a word for today.
This
We
was real.
begin to do some work, honey, or
This was really a
continue.
word. I want to add to the element of water is an element of bounty that has no form. And then a shape shifting element because it takes on the form of whatever container that it is being placed in. And
Mm.
I wanted to give you all that as a understanding that as you move, be able to shift and change form as you need to because water is ever
Woo!
flowing. I also wanted to give you all the information that water not only contains memory, but it saves and stores memory. And
Mm.
so in the water is where a lot of our memory comes back. And so those spiritual baths at this time is going to be key because we can emotionally release what we need to let go. And we can also retain that ancestral memory that is embedded within the water. Another thing that I want to mention in regards to the water that is extremely important is that when we speak life into our water, so as we drink, right, if we speak life into our water, we speak our intentions into our water, that in itself becomes nourishing life nourishing to our life force energy and aligns us with our divine purpose. And so, as we close out today's word on sacred work, and we take in all of the information that our ancestors has bestowed upon each of us as we speak into the call, we use divine guidance and direction from our elders, our ancestors, and our divine contemporaries. And we share this wisdom with you all. And we share this with you all not just because we like to hear ourselves speak, but we
Mm,
want to make you think, and to raise the consciousness of our environment and our community and those around us. And we don't want to gatekeep this information. We don't want to gatekeep these words because it is imperative that the collective receive it at this time. And so, as we think about water going forward, we understand that it is an element that is bountiful on our planet. Okay, there is
yeah,
no scarcity in water. Our planet is made up of 70% water. Our body is made up of 70% water. So water is embedded in every single aspect of our reality. And when we utilize that natural ability that water has to move throughout spaces and time, um, we can be like water and we can move
Ashe,
mountains. And so
Ashe.
I just thank you all for tuning in and tapping in with us. Thank you, sister, for that beautiful revelation from the ancestors deck. It really, really resonated with my soul because water is one of the elements that really helps me in my spiritual work. And so I really wanted to share just a little bit of wisdom in regards to the element of water, since that's been at the forefront of this conversation. It is the element that keeps intact your emotions. And so, in order to not go without, you have to go within. I'm taking that from you, sister.
That's right. And it is such a beautiful way to end the call. As we begin to do our work, take it to the water. Take it to
I
the water.
say,
Take it to the water. Release those things that no longer support your happiness index and be open to receive those things that do. And then when you get out of the water, if you are not a bath taker, our society has us moving really quick. We jump in the water, we clean our body physically, but are you cleaning your body spiritually? Are you
mhm,
cleansing and releasing those things that no longer serve? So, utilizing this mother of water to clean and wash over us so that we can move out the things that we no longer need and be refilled by the
I
things that
say,
do. So we love you all. We thank you all for tuning in. Please continue to tap in with us. I know we have moved to once a week tapping in, typically on Tuesday nights. After our Embracing the Queen Within workshop that we're hosting, we're also hosting a retreat March 28th through the 31st in Tennessee. For those of you who would love to connect with us personally, we invite you to come out and support. To all of our divine sacred women sisters, we ask that you come out and share your sacred work with us. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be in a mansion. It's going to be enough space for 44 women. So please join us. This is going to be an event to remember as we seed our year with purpose. Moving into the spring, bringing in our harvest of what we are planting now. So get ready, get ready, get ready, because we going all the way up. Nothing can
all the
stop
way
us.
up.
Until next time,
We are soul sisters,
speaking
speaking
now
out and
and
fixing
fixing
crowns
crowns
in
in
the
the process.
process.
Peace and love.
Ashe.